We're on the record in cause number 321632, the state of Texas versus Anthony Laughlin. Anthony Laughlin is not in the courtroom. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Anthony Laughlin?
Anthony Laughlin. Anthony Laughlin. No response, Your Honor.
Anthony Laughlin case was set on the court's announcement docket this morning at 9 o'clock on today's date of December 7th of 2020. Mr. Laughlin is not in courtroom. His name was called at or about 9 o'clock. He did not answer then, and his name was just called, and the time was his name was called again, and the time is 11:41 a.m. on today's date of December 7th of 2020. Mr. Laughlin was given a reasonable time to appear in court. He has not appeared. Therefore, his bond will be forfeited. State, do you have any objections?
No objections.
No objections. Mr. Lawson's bond will be forfeited. A warrant will be issued for his arrest. We're on the record in cause number 322030-1, the state of Texas versus Nicholas Collins. Mr. Nicholas Collins is not in the courtroom. Mr. Nicholas Collins' case was set on the court's announcement docket this morning. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Nicholas Collins?
Nicholas Collins. Nicholas Collins. No response, Your Honor.
Nicholas Collins was summoned to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. on today's date of December 7th of 2020 for the court's announcement docket. His name was called at or about 9 a.m. by the court's bailiff. Mr. Collins did not answer. His name was called again at 11:42 a.m. on today's date, and Mr. Collins did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Collins the opportunity to appear in court. He is not here, therefore his bond will be forfeited. State, do you have any objections?
No objections.
No objections. Mr. Nicholas Collins' bond will be forfeited and a warrant shall be issued for his arrest. On the record in cause number 323442, the state of Texas versus Eddie Wynn. Mr. Wynn is not in the courtroom. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Eddie Wynn?
Eddie Wynn. Eddie Wynn. No response, Your Honor.
Eddie Wynn case was set on the court's announcement docket for 9 a.m. this morning on December 7th of 2020. Mr. Wynn name was called at or about 9 a.m. He did not appear or he did not answer. His attorney, Mr. Boudreaux, was here, and Mr. Boudreaux announced that Mr. Wynn was in, I think, California on a job working. Mr. Wynn's name was just called again at 11:44 a.m. on today's date. Mr. Wynn has not answered, therefore his bond will be forfeited. State, do you have any objections?
No objections.
And just make a note, a reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Wynn an opportunity to appear in court, therefore his bond will be forfeited and a warrant shall be issued for his arrest. We're on the record in cause number 323532, the state of Texas versus Tanner Ross. Tanner Ross is not here in court. Mr. Bailiff, would you call the name of Tanner Ross?
Tanner Ross. Tanner Ross. Response.
Tanner Ross was required to be in court this morning for the court's announcement docket at 9 a.m. on today's date of December 7th of 2020. At or about 9 a.m., the court's bailiff called the name of Tanner Ross. He did not answer. The court's bailiff again called his name, and the time is 11:45 a.m. on today's date of December 7th of 2020. Reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Ross an opportunity to appear in court. He is not here, therefore his bond will be forfeited. State, you have any objections?
No objections.
No objections. Mr. Ross' bond will be forfeited and a warrant shall be issued for his arrest. Now, just make a note that Mr. Ross had two cases. His second case is cause number 323954, and his bond will be forfeited in that court based on the statement that the court previously made. We're on the record in clause number 3240 4186. The state of Texas versus Ashan Buck. Ashan Buck is not in the courtroom. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Ashan Buck?
Ashawn Buck. Ashawn Buck. Response.
Mr. Ashan Buck was scheduled to be in the courtroom on today's date of December 7th of 2020 for the court's announcement docket at 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., the court bailiff called, at or about 9 a.m., the court bailiff called Mr. Buck's name. Mr. Buck did not answer. The court's bailiff again called his name at 11:46 a.m. on today's day, and Mr. Buck did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Buck an opportunity to appear in court. Therefore, his bond will be forfeited. State, you have any objections?
No objections.
With no objections, Mr. Buck's bond will be forfeited and a warrant shall be issued for his arrest. And this will conclude the calling of the court's announcement docket.